This Prelude is in quite a state of disarray. Since I've been driving the Tacoma for about the past month while I've been down in Florida, this Prelude's just been sitting. And well, to be honest with you, it's been sitting longer than that because about 2 months ago I got a flat tire and I've yet to basically buy new front tires for this car. It's on my to-do list. In order to get this car at least driving and on the road again, I'm gonna take off this other nice front wheel and I'm gonna put the second spare that I have on this side. That way I'm rocking 2 spares up front because I know this tire, that one already blew, this one's not far behind. The 2 rear tires I've actually managed to correct the toe, and so there's really not too much wear on them at the moment. So for now, I'm just gonna rock the 2 front spares. I don't think I wanna do all this on this little gravel spot, so I need to shuffle things around here, get the Prelude moved, but the Prelude doesn't have a battery in it right now because I've actually had it basically trickle charging on the solar panel for a little bit to hopefully bring it back to life since the car was sitting for a month and a half. This car is running absolutely terribly right now, and I was messing around with it yesterday and I was pulling the spark plug wires off and just putting them back on. So much corrosion, like crusty white powder that came out of it, but it's idling at like hardly 500 RPM. Sounds terrible. Now, before I jump onto the other side with the nice wheel on it still, I want to pull this one off and I want to take all of the camber out of the upper control arm because there is a little bit of adjustment there. So I'm going to pull all the camber out of it, and I also want to double check how much spacing I put on the coilover spindle so that way I can replicate that on the passenger side once we take that wheel off. I'm an idiot, I forgot. So you have your upper control arm here, which you can see I've got painted in a darker black color. There's 2 17mm nuts on top that if you loosen them, you can then get a little bit of wiggle room here. And what that actually does is slightly adjust your camber. It's not much on camera, but trust me, it's there. So what I'm gonna do is pull it all the way out so that way there's the least amount of camber as possible. And we're gonna put the spare wheel back on. But first, looks like I left myself maybe about a ½ an inch of threads up there on the coilover. Now let's go ahead and find out what the tread looks like, mainly on the inside wall here of the passenger tire. It's a shame because there's a lot of life left still on the outside. I was hoping to flip these, but it's the inside that's the problem. I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe and replace both front tires. If you guys missed the video where I popped the tire, let me show you. Took a little bit of a beating on the inner barrel, which sucks, but it's the inner barrel, so I'll just sand it smooth and live with it. But right here you can see we're down to the threads, and this is the puncture spot. It's so soft. I can stick my thumb basically through that. So that's what happened. Same deal, lots of life left on this side. Totally flippable if I had changed this a little bit sooner. First things first, we gotta break loose the locking collar with the spanning wrenches, and I'm gonna spin this coilover down to make it basically a taller ride height, and I'm gonna try and do my best to match the other side. Bottom locking ring is loose, up we go, or down we go, I'm not really sure. And next we'll take the 17mm and do the upper control arm adjustment. Camber is adjusted. Time to put the other spare tire on. Gosh, do I need new pads and rotors. I mean, there's still life left in them. They're just obviously covered in oxidation right now, but I just hate how they look. Might be time to replace these soon. Not the prettiest thing, obviously, but it's gonna get me at least back on the road driving the Prelude in the meantime. We officially have 2 awkward looking wheels on, and now we can set it down and see what this wheel gap looks like. we're doing all right there. Actually, it looks actually as good as I think it could look, and I don't believe it's going to clip the fender at all when turning or hitting bumps. I can definitely notice now the car's on the ground that there's a little bit of outward toe with the two front tires, so they're both kind of doing like this instead of being straight. That's exactly what led to the early depletion of rubber on the side of my old tire, and eventually causing the flat on the side of the highway. So at least now it's drivable and I'm not worried about the other front tire going at any given moment. I would, however, like to raise up the back and take a little bit of the camber out of it. That way I don't prematurely run these tires down while I wait until I get new front tires, and then I have to get an alignment on the whole thing. So I may raise up the back, which will also make it look a little bit better with the front, so the back's not totally squatted. We're not doing like a squatted truck thing here, but with a Prelude. The other day I got sent some fan mail with some Prelude goodies in it. This is from Reed. Very professional, man. Oh, there's a letter. First things first. Dear Connor, I can't imagine what it is like being a content creator. I thought for a long time about what I wanted to say in this letter. I have included a few 3D prints for your 3rd gen Prelude. I'm selling any of these parts, or if anyone needs other plastic parts for a 3rd gen, email. I'll put his email up on the screen right here. I gave you 2 options for a coolant overflow cap, a set of tire valve caps, and a keychain. All were printed by yours truly in PETG. Honestly, I'm not totally sure what PETG is. Maybe that's the type of plastic or material. I run the parts on my car and I love that it adds a custom touch. This is just my way of maybe reaching a few people who like my product, but also to thank you for making some truly awesome videos. So if you don't want to mention my contact, then don't. No hard feelings either way. Reed, of course I'm gonna share this. Are you kidding? I love watching someone else work on their Prelude who is humble and honest. Your car is so much cleaner than mine and I am infinitely jealous. I hope our cars can meet one day. Thanks again, Reed. Reed, man, trust me, if you see my Prelude, it's a 20-foot car. Get any closer, you'll be less impressed. And look at this, just so you know, the packaging, utmost professionalism. Look at this nice fitted box, everything in packing material. Oh dude, that's epic. A 2-tone coolant overflow cap, that is too cool, man. Got the thread in there as well. Looks like a gray cap with black font behind it. Here we have a Prelude on the cap itself, kind of reverse there with a black cap and a gray logo. That is too cool. Look at the detail on that. The pop-up headlights, incredible. That is so cool, Reed. The keychain. I don't have anything that is really, let me make sure I can show that to you clearly. I don't have any cool, really Prelude memorabilia or anything like that, so this is a first, man. This is really epic. I love it. I love the detail, the little lip spoiler on the back. It's very good. And even the little touches on the valve stem caps. Reed, thank you so much for sending these out. I'm super stoked to put them on the car. I can't wait. So if I'm not mistaken, this coolant overflow cap, I believe, is gonna replace this one here. Looks like it could be a match, and it is a match. Look at that. That's so cool, man. A little nice touch. Hold on, I gotta make it perfectly straight. There we go. Nice touch for the Prelude. A Prelude inside of a Prelude. So I'm gonna try and solve this. Let me see if I can show you with the spark plugs. I probably got, yeah, I mean, you can maybe, no, you probably can't see that, but there's white powder, like residue coming out of there. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna take this bulb grease, which is essentially, it's a dielectric grease. It's gonna be, I believe, the same stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, but if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna get new spark plug wires. I don't know if I've ever replaced these, so these could also just be bad. But all I'm gonna do is just put a little dab of this inside each of these and then press them back onto their respective spark plugs. Well, it needs an oil change, but it definitely needs some oil. It's always something, man. The question is, does it run any better after adding some oil and the dielectric grease to the spark plug wires? Nah, still runs like poop. Might also need gas. It's really low on gas. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Prelude's back on the road, if you know what I mean. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep elevating. Adios.